In March 2025, Italian and Scottish researchers, led by Professor Corrado Malanga from the University of Pisa and Dr. Filippo Biondi from the University of Strathclyde, announced an astonishing discovery beneath the pyramid complex in Giza. Using a new form of 3D tomography with synthetic aperture radar, they scanned the area around the Pyramid of Khafra, the second largest of the pyramids in Giza, suggesting that an extensive underground network is being revealed. In this case, the researchers used radar data from satellites orbiting at approximately 676 kilometers above the Earth. According to their claims, the radar images show 8 huge vertical structures described as cylinders. These are cylindrical shafts or wells, plunging deep into the ground, as well as numerous interconnected chambers and passages far beneath the desert surface. The scale of the discovery is staggering. The team reports that the shafts descend approximately 650 meters down and that the entire underground complex extends about 2 kilometers horizontally beneath the 3 Great Pyramids. That is about 10 times more than the visible pyramids on the surface. The project spokesperson, Nicole Chikovo, describes the discovery as redefining the boundaries of archaeological research, providing spatial coordinates for previously unknown underground structures. It seems that this news, which literally exploded around the world, aims to change the paradigm. This groundbreaking research could redefine our understanding of the sacred topography of ancient Egypt, Chikovo claims, linking the underground complex to ancient sacred legends from the very beginning. The researchers themselves draw a parallel with the idea that the layout of these chambers, they noted, eerily resembles the halls of Amenti, the legendary underground rooms in the Egyptian esoteric tradition, and even the Hall of Records, which is said to preserve the wisdom of the ancient Atlanteans. At a press conference in Italy on March 16, 2025, the team goes so far as to say that at full magnification, the images reveal what can only be described as a real underground city beneath Giza. And what exactly was found? Here is the image published by the researchers showing multiple pillar-like shafts with spiral structures winding around them, which are believed to be located beneath the pyramid plateau in Giza. It is claimed that each cylindrical shaft descends hundreds of meters into the bedrock, connecting to large cubic chambers at the base. The light blue markers indicate identified features. The results from the research team's radar scanning can be summarized by several main characteristics. Here are the highlights, as described in the reports for 2024 and 2025. We have vertical shafts, 8 colossal cylindrical shafts likened to wells or pillars hidden underground. Each shaft is, note this, 648 meters and about 9 meters in diameter. These shafts were discovered beneath the 3 main pyramids, probably as access points to the deeper complex. Spiral paths. These spiral ramps or staircases wind around each shaft, descending along their length. Radar images suggest that these spiral paths connect the shafts to the lower chambers, resembling a giant screw-like descent into the earth. Massive chambers. 2 huge dome-shaped chambers at the base of the shafts, each roughly about 80 meters wide on each side. These cavities are located deep underground, near the bottom of the shafts, and could correspond exactly to large halls or central nodes of the complex. Multi-level structures, 5 multi-story constructions above the large chambers, arranged in a geometric pattern and connected by straight passages or corridors. They are located closer to the surface, near the foundations of the pyramid, and may represent buildings or vaults in the underground city. And last but not least, water channels, possibly a network of tunnels or canals resembling an ancient water management system. Some radar images were interpreted as resembling pipeline structures, which suggests that the underground complex may have been deliberately flooded or connected to the surface, the water surface of the Nile. The entire subsystem is estimated to be about 2 kilometers long beneath the plateau. In other words, hidden chambers form a scattered network directly beneath and beyond the three great pyramids of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. The vertical depth reaches over 600 meters below the ground, much deeper than any known archaeological site in Egypt. How is it possible that we're only discovering this now? Think about it. For centuries, Egyptologists and mainstream historians confidently told us that the pyramids are just tombs of ancient kings, there's nothing interesting there, they were just revered, and so on. But something inside us has never fully accepted that story. Ever since we were children, when we imagined the pyramids, we pictured something greater and more mysterious. Has it ever truly resonated with you that these complex and almost perfectly star-aligned structures, built with mathematical precision, are just elaborate tombs? That has never made sense. Here's a thought for you. Type the coordinates of the Egyptian pyramid into Google, look at the numbers that come up, whatever you find. Then, open a new window and type in the speed of light the same numbers. What is above is below. It's obvious, and now more evidence is appearing that confirms your deepest intuition. The pyramids were never just tombs. They are something much greater, much more mysterious, and much more meaningful. And yet, as powerful as this discovery is, the mainstream scientific and academic communities quickly dismissed it. Why? Because it doesn't fit the convenient narrative, because it doesn't match the textbooks, because it pushes people out of their comfort zones. Leading archaeologists of Egypt called the findings impossible, absurd, and without scientific support. They say there's no way the radar could detect that much, but think about this very carefully. History is full of stories about revolutionary discoveries that were first ridiculed and rejected and only later accepted as obvious truths. Galileo Galilei, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, all of them faced ridicule and mockery before the world woke up and recognized them as geniuses. Maybe we're seeing the same pattern here. Famous Egyptian archaeologists also categorically dismissed the discovery. Dr. Zahi Hawass, former head of the Egyptian Antiquities Department and a world-renowned Egyptologist, outright dismissed the radar findings as completely false and unfounded rumors. Hawass stated that such a scanning project was not authorized. Inside or beneath the Pyramid of Khafre, no radar devices or modern technologies have been used for detection. He announced through social media, describing the story of the underground city as an attempt to undermine ancient Egyptian civilization. This is very interesting and a curious fact. The same Zahi Hawass, who today fiercely denies the existence of any underground cities beneath the plateau. In the late 90s, Giza not only acknowledged their existence but also personally entered the tunnels beneath the Sphinx. In archival footage, we see him entering through an opening in the body of the Sphinx itself and excitedly saying, "Even Indiana Jones never dreamed of being here." A little later, he publicly admits that there is more than one tunnel beneath the Sphinx and that they hide important secrets related to the construction of the pyramids. Until 1998, Hawass was even missing. Hawass personally led expeditions into these tunnels. But then suddenly, there is a sharp turn. The research is abruptly stopped, the project is halted, and Hawass completely changes his position. He begins to claim that there is absolutely nothing under the Sphinx, even denying the very existence of the hole through which he personally entered on camera. And the two scientists who were the first to question the official version, John Anthony West and Robert Schoch, not only get denied access, but also receive an official ban from entering Egypt. Zahi Hawass literally blocks them, and yet the facts remain. As early as 1733, Charles Thompson records that there is a visible hole on top of the Sphinx. In 1798, the French archaeologist Vivant Denon sketches a person coming out of it in the 1920s. There is an aerial photograph where the same opening is clearly visible. And here comes the question: how can someone who has entered the tunnels and led expeditions there later deny that they even exist? And why is it necessary to forbid other scientists and researchers from even setting foot in Egypt? Obviously, the problem is not the lack of evidence, but the desire to keep it hidden. For thousands of years, mystics, spiritual teachers, and visionaries have spoken about hidden chambers beneath Giza. Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, repeatedly spoke about a hall of records, a secret chamber buried beneath the pyramids, preserving ancient knowledge from Atlantis, patiently waiting for humanity to rediscover it, but only when our consciousness is ready. Ancient texts, such as the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, speak of the hidden halls of Amenti, the underground chambers beneath Egypt that preserve wisdom and knowledge from entire civilizations, long forgotten by mainstream history. These ancient sources seem to describe exactly what modern radar technology has just discovered here: deep underground shafts and chambers beneath the Great Pyramid, deliberately hidden from view. The Emerald Tablets literally describe how Thoth hid his spacecraft beneath the Sphinx and encoded the knowledge of the universe within them. In his famous book, Histories, written in the 5th century before Christ, Herodotus describes the account of Egyptian priests about an extraordinary underground labyrinth near the pyramids at Giza. According to him, this labyrinth has thousands of interconnected rooms with hidden chambers, tunnels, and passages inside. Herodotus emphasizes that this underground structure is even more impressive and complex than the pyramids themselves, containing more than 3,000 rooms and mysterious passages with very limited access. Plato, in the 4th century before Christ, known for his writings about Atlantis, reveals that the Egyptian priests preserved the knowledge of a lost, advanced civilization destroyed in a global catastrophe. According to Plato, the Egyptian temples and underground chambers preserve the sacred wisdom and historical records of Atlantis, carefully protected beneath the sands. Manetho, 3rd century before Christ, an Egyptian historian and priest, he wrote about a legendary king named Surit or Saurit, who is believed to have ruled Egypt long before the pharaohs. As a side note, Erich von Däniken says that Saurit is Enoch and Enoch is Thoth. You can make the connection yourself. According to Manetho, Saurit had visions predicting an upcoming catastrophe, which prompted him to build pyramids. Not as tombs, but as vaults and chambers specifically designed to preserve the ancient wisdom and knowledge of humanity for future generations. Diodorus Siculus, in the 1st century before Christ, wrote extensively about a vast underground labyrinth near Lake Manathon Moeris in Egypt, describing it as containing thousands of hidden rooms. These rooms, he says, hold ancient scrolls, historical records, and spiritual teachings from distant past civilizations, protected for a future time when humanity will rediscover and understand them. Strabo, a Greek historian and geographer from the 1st century before Christ, mentions a mysterious underground shaft in Giza known as the Well of Osiris. According to Strabo, this shaft led deep underground to hidden subterranean chambers. He explicitly states that the Egyptian priests carefully guarded these underground spaces, restricting access only to the initiated. We continue with Pliny, ancient, again 1st century. The Roman historian also confirms the existence of these underground labyrinths and chambers beneath the Egyptian structures. Ammianus Marcellinus, 4th century AD. The Roman historian writes that Egypt has hidden underground spaces beneath its temples and pyramids used by priests to guard ancient secrets and wisdom. Well, are we really discovering something new? Are we really still arguing while scrolling through social media, thinking that we are the beings with the greatest knowledge that have ever lived on planet Earth, since obviously we are far from the wisdom and even the technology that the ancients possessed? Nevertheless, for so long we dismissed these legends and teachings as myths, fantasies, or conspiracy theories, but now science itself aligns perfectly with these ancient stories. It's interesting how we respect someone like Plato as a philosopher, but we don't respect his data about ancient civilizations. It doesn't make much sense. We naturally choose what is convenient for us. At some point, though, it's only right to stand up and honestly ask ourselves, if these legends have been true all along, how many more like them have we ignored along the way? Let's speak openly. This discovery under the Giza is more than just an interesting archaeological find. This is a wake-up call for each of us, a call to reconsider our understanding of the origin, possibilities, and meaning of humanity on Earth. It's important to realize that we are standing on the threshold of a deeper reality, ready to cross over if we are brave enough to question our old beliefs and dogmas. For generations, we have been taught that the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid, are simply grand tombs built in honor of dead pharaohs. But here's an interesting fact. No mummies have ever been found in the Great Pyramid. No lavish treasures in the main chambers, no inscriptions adorning the walls praising the pharaoh's life and his journey to the afterlife, as we find in other, smaller tombs. Also consider what Nikola Tesla said about the pyramids. He believed that they were not tombs at all, but complex energy machines, devices designed to harness the natural frequencies of the Earth. Tesla is not alone in his claims. Modern experiments show that the Great Pyramid naturally focuses electromagnetic waves, acting as a resonant chamber. The precise geometry and arrangement are not accidental, they are intentional and complex. Why else are the parameters of the pyramid encoded in Leonardo's Vitruvian Man? And why do the treatises and the greatest verses of Shakespeare once again refer us to the Great Pyramid? Because it is a monument that stands as a reminder of our true capabilities and essence. All this information is truly complex for us in our time, and we really cannot understand it. But really, if we dedicate ourselves to the path of exploration, we have the chance to begin to study it, and little by little, to start understanding it. A 2018 study in a Journal of Applied Physics found that under certain resonance conditions, the pyramid concentrates electromagnetic energy in its inner chambers and under its base. Simply put, the pyramid can naturally amplify and concentrate energy. The pyramids may have had multiple purposes at the same time. They could have been places of initiation, where great adepts underwent spiritual journeys in resonating chambers, using sound and darkness to expand consciousness. They could also have been harmonic generators, transforming the Earth's natural vibrational particles into usable energy. They might have been signaling stations or even communication or teleportation devices. Maybe that's exactly why modern science strongly resists these discoveries. Because, people accepting them would mean rewriting all the textbooks, all the history books, admitting that our ancestors possessed knowledge and abilities that we consider impossible today. A big admission from the current government of Egypt is that their greatest attraction was not created by them, and no matter how much they try to protect it, at some point the truth comes out. This means admitting that at one time, human beings knew more about the energy that we are, about frequencies, and about consciousness than modern society does now. But let's go even deeper. If the pyramids were ancient energy machines or repositories of knowledge, what does that say about us today, their descendants? Seen this way, it means that within each one of us lies an infinite and untapped potential. It means that our ancestors were trying to leave us a profound message, written not on scrolls, but in stone, hidden beneath the sands, for a time. Because knowing that one day, when the time is right, we will awaken enough to be able to discover it. And here we are, facing a moment of collective awakening at a crossroads, as if the universe, our ancestors, or maybe both, are finally calling us to open our eyes, to stop living blindly within the narrow limits of what we've been told, to question everything, to rediscover truths that we have forgotten or deliberately buried. It's important that you really hear this. This isn't about waiting for academia to confirm what's beneath the pyramids. This is about the fact that right now you are choosing whether you want to wake up, to start exploring the deeper truths of existence and embrace a broader vision for humanity, or choose to continue living under the old dogmas and illusions. For too long, we have been trapped in a limited view of reality, believing that we already know everything we need to know about history and about ourselves. But this discovery is the proof we've been waiting for, the proof that our world is much more extraordinary than we've been allowed to believe on one hand, and then we've chosen to allow ourselves to believe on the other. You may feel skeptical, uncertain, or full of resistance. And that's completely, absolutely understandable. Waking up from the illusion is never comfortable. It's easier to play dumb, it's easier to dismiss new discoveries as conspiracy theories, to label them as fantasy. Because accepting them means giving up the comfortable illusions, which also includes everyone around us thinking we're strange. But it's exactly in those uncomfortable moments of awakening that we grow, not only as individuals, but also as a species. We grow because we immerse ourselves and allow a new vibrational frequency to pass through us, to tune ourselves to it, and to accept all of this as an opportunity that can lead us and guide us to the next such opportunities. For centuries, certain interests have fought to keep humanity in ignorance. Knowledge about free energy, ancient technologies, and human consciousness has been suppressed, often dismissed as pseudoscience or fantasy. Well, it's time to acknowledge, for those who still haven't realized it, to repeat something deeply. We are energy first and foremost. We are energetic beings living and experiencing the human journey. We are not isolated, powerless beings controlled by circumstances. So, what do we do with this information? This really isn't just a conspiracy theory. It's a sign, a wake-up call. This is a call to you, to me, to all of us to awaken a bit more of our curiosity, inspiration, and consciousness. The universe has more powerful laws than human laws, which sooner or later reveal the truth in a way that may be inexplicable to us, just when we are ready to accept them. And it seems that the time is now. We are more than we've been told we are. Our past is filled with wonders, and our future may be filled with even more. But first, it's important to open our eyes. Is it time to be ready to see what is being revealed, even if it overturns the comfortable narratives? And I'm speaking directly to you. You are part of this awakening. Take the necessary responsibility, make the decisive choices, choose a direction to explore. The fact that you are here, that you are listening or reading about this extraordinary discovery, means that you have already caught the wave of this change. You may feel a sense of wonder, of ecstasy, or perhaps skepticism, doubt, but your mind is open. That is the key. And ask yourself, why does this whole thing matter to me? Here's one answer: because the ancients said knowledge is power, and today from the future we add the application of that knowledge is change. If humanity had advanced knowledge in the distant past, then what does that say about our potential today? And it's really important to remember that awakening doesn't mean blindly accepting every single statement entirely. It means maintaining an open but discerning mind, one that is truly observant and thinks about the things happening around it. Of course, not every theory will turn out to be true, but it's good to open ourselves up to exploration. The worst thing we can do is to directly reject new ideas or cling to old paradigms. Out of fear, the reaction of some orthodox scientists is complete rejection and mockery. This is the so-called fearful mindset, which seems to try to keep the lid on Pandora's box. But the lid opens, whether we like it or not, and once it's open, it can never be closed again. Imagine for a moment the feeling if and when these underground halls are visited by people for the first time. That moment will not belong only to one country, to Egypt, or just to science. It will belong to all of humanity. And that moment is coming. And actually, the interesting thing is that you can go there even now because you are that same energy and you don't have to wait. The mainstream, as it's popular to say now, is trying to catch up with its discoveries to your own intuition, your own existence in this reality that manifests this event, while it already knows, since it's already happening, that something bigger is going on. Trust that feeling inside you, the one that has never let you down, the one that has whispered to you that there is so much more than the visible physical reality. In fact, as I said, you can go there right now and check it out for yourself. Is what made headlines around the world true? Is it acceptable for you and everyone around you, or is it just another dose of deception? But since you are the energy itself, and there are concepts that have been known for a long time, like channeling, like remote or distant viewing, which has been confirmed by secret documents from Syria and by researchers all over the world. Since you already have access to meditation, and a very strongly activating one at that, thanks to the theory of cogitality and meditation. Sensor, and many of you are familiar with it and already have a lot of experiences. For those of you who want to answer the question right now, while we are together, it doesn't matter what you call it. Close your eyes. Relax. Let your thoughts go. Everything you've heard as information so far, take in all that information. Allow it as an option so you can move forward. It doesn't matter what happens. What matters is how you react to what happens. Relax your shoulders and your whole body down. It doesn't matter if we're talking about channeling, remote viewing, or meditation. Transcendental meditation. All of these are variations of yourselves because the energy is one and you are part of that oneness. Imagine in front of you a glowing, sparkling plasma ball full of energy. Pulsating, just like the sun. That's you in a slightly different form. Trust this plasma ball. Allow it to enter you into your head, and the moment you accept it, synchronize with it. Allow yourself to do it. Wish for the plasma sphere to expand and to envelop you completely. Like a small spaceship that glows in the shape of a sphere. This ship is not confined within the boundaries of time and space. Wish for the plasma sphere right at this moment to set a destination together. Egypt, the pyramids, the Giza complex, and focus, enter, see what's under the pyramids, under the Sphinx. Go deep down, look around. Do you see anything? Are you traveling? What is small about you? If you go down somewhere, go even further down. If you see something like a room, a temple, or maybe large tunnels and corridors, something your memory and logic haven't seen until now, accept these frequencies and allow yourself to move forward. Ask for guidance, ask a question in all this space, wish to see what you need the most. Because the underground vault of Giza contains knowledge for everyone, knowledge for those who are ready to take the path of wisdom and follow it. Dive even deeper for a moment and remember what you see. This is not your imagination. This is the information that is contained within each one of us. Crystallize this energy, keep moving forward, take a walk. See all of this from a more global perspective. See it as a transparent scheme without the sands, both the pyramids and the Sphinx, and what is underneath. Is there something or is there nothing? When you are ready, you can open your eyes. However that may have seemed to you, whatever you call it, it will still be true because everything comes from the same creation. And whatever names we give it, it doesn't care because it is still itself and it is part of the whole. And however we define these journeys, whether we believe or not, this is one of the practical ways to verify the information that comes out ourselves. And if we are brave enough to really turn off our filters and beliefs for a moment, we enter new spaces and see things that really, when we open our eyes, we can't believe we've seen. But to conclude, I would like to leave this thought here. And everyone can write in the comments, if they wish, what they saw and what they think about the topic. I stand by this statement: between being right and being happy, choose happiness, because everyone is right only for themselves. Thank you, friends. For me, it is an exceptional responsibility, honor and gratitude, an opportunity, an incredible pleasure, and a dream come true. Truly, to have the opportunity to present and to be part of this whole awakening and the entire wave of information that passes through me and everyone around me. And to have the chance to bring this thing out so that we can grow together. This really is something very, 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 very valuable. And I thank each and every one of you who actively follows everything, watches, listens, trembles, gets excited, argues, discusses, resists. Every participant is valuable because in this way we complete the picture of the whole, and the whole is completed through us in this way. Thank you, and see you in a moment.